Countries all across the world are fleeing the US dollar. They're saying, fuck the dollar. Now, there's many reasons why. Inflation is one of them. But one of the other big issues that many people have is that, well, if they have all these dollar reserves and said country does something that the United States doesn't like, the United States could just freeze or steal all those US dollar reserves that the country has. It's a very risky scenario for any given country to hold mass amounts of funds in dollar reserves. And the situation with Afghanistan, the situation with Venezuela, the situation with Russia, all are further proof of that it's actually not only risky, but it's just not wise to work in the dollar in these large capacities, okay? So let's take a look. Russian corporations are fleeing the dollar. Russia's biggest bank has recorded a 17-fold decrease in foreign currency savings on the balance sheet of large businesses, according to Anatoly Popov, deputy chairman of Sber's executive board, as cited by the Russian business daily RBK. The lender is widely seen as a proxy for the Russian economy. The volume of foreign currency funds held by the bank's largest corporate clients decreased by 94% in the first 6 months of the current year, Popov said. Quote, we have made significant efforts to reduce the volume of foreign exchange liabilities to unfriendly countries, as restructuring the businesses in such a fashion allows for efficiency to be maintained. Thus, from January to July of 2022, the volume of funds of the largest clients kept on foreign currency deposits with Sberbank decreased by 94%. At the moment, the share of funds in foreign currency in the structure of deposits of the largest clients is only 4%, while at the beginning of the year, the figure was 40%, he added. So that's incredible, but not all that surprising given the situation with Russia right now. But let's take a look at this. Russia and India are trading more than double right now. So they're doing this trade, I should add, and this is the important part of the story here, in national currencies. According to Ushakov, who is with the Shanghai Cooperation Council, I believe, Russian presidential aide, Yuri Ushakov, the two nations are currently working on bilateral measures to expand the use of their national currencies, the ruble and the rupee, in these mutual settlements. Russia and India has soared nearly 120% in trade so far this year, according to Russian presidential aide Ushakov. Our relations are actively developing. The trade has also increased significantly, with supplies of Russian oil, coal, and fertilizers increasing. Okay, so this is pretty incredible. Now, why is this incredible? As I always say, because 10, 15, 20 years ago, if a country tried to do this, you end up like Muammar Gaddafi. And that's actually exactly what Muammar Gaddafi was trying to do in Africa. Trying to create a new African, dollar replacement reserve currency. They wanted to create an African union. Libya was the most industrialized, modern, civilized, literate country in all of Africa. Gaddafi led them to that point, and that's why Hillary Clinton assassinated him in cold blood. Okay, and you also had the NATO bombings of Libya. You think NATO care? You think NATO, whose goal is to protect the security and stability of Europe, cares what's going on in Africa? Well, they do if Africa is working to create a new gold standard backed African currency to replace the dollar and the euro. Then they do. Poses a big security threat for them. So they assassinated him. Okay, but you can't do that to India. You can't do that to Modi, and you can't do that to Putin. So now we find ourselves in this interesting scenario where countries don't have to be careful. They don't have to be silent about doing trade in national currencies. They can be open and boast about it, actually, and show the rest of the world that this is happening. That's exactly what Putin said at the Eastern Economic Forum, and that's why at the end of the Eastern Economic Forum, there was tens of billions of dollars in new contracts that were signed amongst these countries that are considered, adversarial to the United States, because people believe in the message that Putin is putting forward, this message of multipolarity. Okay, now Turkey also plays an interesting role in this. And let me just say, Putin threads the needle so well with Turkey. Erdogan is such a fucking bitch, such a fucking pussy. Putin threads the needle so well. Putin explains how Russia and Turkey will bypass the dollar, okay? Russian gas supplies to Turkey will be partly paid for in rubles, President Vladimir Putin said during a meeting with his Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, on Friday. The encounter took place on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Quote, "We are ready to significantly increase supplies to Turkey in all our directions that are of interest to the country. Our agreement on natural gas supplies of Russian origin to Turkey with the payment of 25% of these supplies in Russian rubles will start working in the nearest future. We also have this. Turkish banks are now being targeted over the Russian payment system." So we covered this. Putin and Erdogan had a meeting last month in which they discussed that the Mir banking system was going to move to 5 major banks in Turkey. This clearly is worrying the collective West. So what are they doing? Well, they're lashing out. The US and EU intend to put pressure on Turkish banks so that Ankara does not help Moscow bypass the sanctions, the Financial Times reported on Thursday, citing 2 Western officials familiar with the matter. Turkish banks have integrated into Russia's Mir payment system will be in the spotlight of Western countries that are stepping up their efforts to watch over the enforcement of anti-Russian sanctions. Mir was developed by the Central Bank of Russia as a domestic alternative to Visa and MasterCard after the first round of sanctions was imposed on Moscow in 2014. Okay, so does the United States, the West, have the potential to stop the Mir system? Do they have the potential to stop Turkey from doing this? No. They're trying to put pressure on them. But at the end of the day, we all know that Turkey and Russia are very well prepared for this. They know this is coming, and they're going to be fine. They're trying to send a message, but they'll be fine. And now, this might just be the most interesting part of the story of all. And the same exact day that Russia is deciding to do this, what I'm about to show you, the United States is coming out and talking about creating a digital currency. Okay, now Russia has said this. Russia recently, by the way, they're opening up Bitcoin transactions for, international trade deals. They said they're opening up Bitcoin trade and international partnerships and things of this matter. But now we're seeing this. Schedule for testing digital ruble has been announced. The Russian digital currency could be used in test mode transactions next year, according to the central bank. The Bank of Russia plans to start testing the digital ruble transactions with real clients starting in April. CBR Governor Elvira Nabiulina said at a press conference on Friday, quote, "We are now testing the digital ruble with 15 banks. This is really a test mode on how to open wallets on the digital ruble platform, how to make transfers between customers, how to pay for goods and services, including via QR codes," she explained, adding that the test mode transactions with real clients but in limited volumes could gradually be launched on April 1st of 2023. Okay, so what's incredible is it seems like at every single step that the globalists and the Western world puts forward to try and undercut the East, undercut the multipolar, divisions that are being created right now, Russia is able to strike at the soft underbelly of the collective West by countering them so brilliantly with measures that we discuss in this story right here. This truly is the end of dollar hegemony, of the American unipolar world order, and we are witnessing a beautiful flourishing of a multipolar world before our very eyes. Thanks for watching that episode of The Dive. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment below, and be sure to share this video with your friends. Also, my YouTube channel has now been permanently demonetized by YouTube because of the truth that we tell here. For that reason, I'm asking you to join as a supporter on my Locals community, which you can find linked below in the description of this video or in the comment section. When you join as a donor on Locals, you get access to my weekly private live streams, all of my private content, and the opportunity to ask questions to the guests that I bring here on our show, such as Glenn Greenwald, Colonel Douglas McGregor, and Ron Paul. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll see you back here next time.